Hi, Jenny here. Today is June 7th, so it has been 6 months since the surgery to remove my cancer. So I thought I'd give a little update on how things are going, how things have changed, what used to happen before, and how things are going now. So, welcome. Thanks for joining me on this video. Give a little background for any of you that are new here. I am Jenny. I am 58 years old now. I was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor in my rectum a year and a half ago, so February of last year. For, I'd say, a year and a half previous to that point in time, I had been having symptoms. I had been having to run to the bathroom a lot. I was having a lot of gas. I was having some diarrhea. I had blood once in a while. But I've been a healthy person pretty much all my life, and so I kind of thought that this is just like a virus that I have, it's something going on, it'll go away. And then it wasn't going away, so then I thought, well, maybe it's like a gluten intolerance. Somehow I developed that, and so I changed my diet and I started cutting out gluten and trying that. I'd had to have a tooth worked on. I had a tooth replaced, and I had a post put in and a tooth put on top of that, and I was given antibiotics for that. And when I was taking those the first time, the body seemed to get a little bit better, but then it went back to normal. And then I had a second round of antibiotics, and that didn't make any difference. And then towards the end, I thought I was having hemorrhoids. I was having pain sitting down, and taking Tylenol was kind of okay, and that stopped working, and I took Advil, and that worked. So I thought, okay, I can still keep going on, I can still work. And then it got to the point where the Advil wasn't working, and so I made an appointment with my doctor. I went in, and she palpated me and found a lump in my rectum, and like immediately got on the phone to a GI doctor, got me an appointment. So I saw her on a Thursday, and she got me into the GI doctor on Monday. And on Monday I was in pain when I went to the GI doctor. I think they may have told me not to take any Advil or anything, just in case he needed to take some biopsies. So, because I was in pain. So sitting there, the doctor was so very nice, very compassionate. He came in the room and he was like, "So, tell me a butt story." That was the best thing ever. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. Tell me a butt story. I was like, tell you a butt story. Okay, well, this is what's going on. And I started crying and telling him, how much pain I was in. And he was like, okay, let's just, scope you out and see what's going on. And he got the other room set up or whatever, got ready for me. And I went in there. He did a scope and said, yep, there was a lump in there. He took a couple biopsies, and he called me either the next day or 2 days later and said that it was cancerous. And so he wanted to do a colonoscopy, and he scheduled that within like a week or so. And I had an MRI scan and a CT scan. So those were all then scheduled within the next couple weeks, so that they could get more detail and figure out really what was going on and where the cancer all was. So gratefully, the cancer was only in my rectum area. It hadn't spread at all that they could tell. There were a couple lymph nodes nearby that looked maybe a little swollen, so they weren't sure. But then it was to make an appointment with an oncologist and go from there. So, with having all that done, I recommend to you guys, don't wait. If you have any symptoms, if you're having any bowel troubles, if you're having any, you could have pain in other places, go in, get it checked out. Just get your regular doctor's appointment, mention it. Sometimes they can do blood tests to figure out if there's something going on. Otherwise, get a scan, get whatever, get your colonoscopies. I waited on mine. I was a little nervous to get mine done, so I put it off. And yeah, so this may have been prevented, maybe not. I was meant to go through this journey, obviously. And so that's where I'm at. That's how it started. So yeah, again, if anything, get yourself checked out. Take care of you. So I had the scans done. Like I said, they figured that out. I saw the oncologist, and he came up with, you know, a plan. He wanted, like a protocol is to do chemotherapy and then radiation and then surgery. It was kind of dependent on how big the tumor was once they got the results of the MRI scan. That was going to come in a couple days, and then I was also going to see a radiologist so that they could kind of tell me their plan and how this kind of worked. I was a little disheartened. I didn't want to go through chemotherapy, just kind of, I don't know, thinking in my head horror stories that I've heard. And when I mentioned that to him, he again was very nice and said, you know, if you don't want to do chemo, we won't do chemo. But let's, you know, see the test results and go from there, and we'll talk. So that was also wonderful that, you know, he was open to giving me options. It wasn't you have to do it my way or, you know, hit the highway. So we went to the radiologist then later that week and got the results of the MRI scan, and for how big they said the tumor was, they thought it was a little too big that they would comfortably operate. They would prefer I went through treatment to try to shrink the tumor, because they figured that again the treatment would shrink the tumor by about half, and obviously that would be much better. And for where it was in the rectum, a couple things. It was really close to the, well, it's in the wall of the rectum. I guess it was growing through, and it was kind of into the vaginal wall. And so they were kind of afraid that with the chemo and more so the radiation, that they may perforate the intestines, and so they wanted me to get an ileostomy. And so then I talked with the surgeon, and she also, I think she just palpated me. And thought, yep, they can do an ileostomy. And again, she was hoping that if the tumor shrunk by half, then the ileostomy would be able to be reversed. And so that was what we did. I went through chemotherapy, I went through radiation, and in December is when I had the surgery. So I have videos to all this stuff on my channel. I think as far as when I started, when I finished things, like chemo was April, May, June, July. I think I had 8 treatments. It was every other week. I know it ended on my anniversary, July 12th. I know I did have chemo on my birthday in April, so I guess it was April, May, June, July. And then you have a month off, so like August off, September I did radiation. And then I had another month off. They like to give it 6 weeks after radiation, because even though you finish the radiation treatments, the radiation's still working in your body. And so they need to give it time to get the organs and everything to kind of stabilize, so that then they can do the surgery. And when I saw the surgeon again right before surgery, she palpated me again, and I kind of jumped. It was, you know, it was a little pain. It was like, ow, you know, I flinched, but and she was like, okay. And when she scoped me and she even showed me on the screen, I could see where the tumor was. And unfortunately, it was too close to the sphincter muscle, so they couldn't save that area. They could not reverse the ileostomy. So I now have a permanent colostomy. The good and the bad, it's like, well, all right, I had already had the ileostomy. I knew how to deal with it and work with it. I've had months of that, and it went well. So yeah, I know how to deal with it. Unfortunately, it's for the rest of my life. It is what it is. I'm still alive. I'm still here. If that's what it takes, that's okay. It's not bad. You can still do anything you want to do. So it really doesn't slow you down. It doesn't stop you. And like I said, it just keeps me going. So obviously during all that time, before all this, with the amount of pain that I was in, I was taking Advil every 4 hours. Every 4 hours every day. I know some people were like, you can't do that. It's going to hurt your kidneys, this and that. I said, you know what? In reality, it was going to be short term, even though I was doing this for whatever that was, 10 months worth. You know, I knew I was going to have surgery, and after that point in time, the pain would go away, and I would be able to stop taking it. So it was better for me to be, you know, out of pain than to think about what it was doing to my kidneys and all that. I will deal with that later, which again, I'm fine. But to take the Advil every 4 hours, and I actually set alarms on my phone that I would be taking it, I wouldn't miss a dose. Because sometimes I would try it. I would be like, I'm feeling pretty good. Let me see if I can go longer, and then I'll just take Advil when I'm feeling pain. By the time I was feeling pain and I took the Advil, it would take the edge off, but it wouldn't take the pain away. So I would have to, I could still kind of wait until that 4-hour mark, and I would take another dose, and then that one would finally take the pain away again. So I thought, nope, I'm staying on top of the pain, and I would take that Advil every 4 hours, even through the night. So I was getting up a couple times during the night. Before having the ileostomy, I was getting up like every 2 hours during the night anyways, having to use the bathroom. So again, those signs of, yeah, I should have went and got checked out. After the ileostomy, I would still have to get up, even without alarms. You have to get up at least like every 4 hours or so anyways. You should be emptying your bag. The ileostomy puts out a little bit more stool than the colostomy. With the colostomy, I probably could sleep through the night. At this point, I can't. In the beginning, it was still filling up, more so quicker, more with gas and stuff, and I'd have to go empty it. At this point, I probably could make it through the night. I still wake up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, whether that's age, whether that's the way my body is, and yeah, that's okay. So yeah, I was taking that Advil every 4 hours, and they also gave me a prescription for tramadol, which is just a little bit stronger. It's not quite like the codeine type stuff. It's a step down from that, but just a little bit stronger. And every once in a while I'd have like a flare up that the Advil wasn't working for whatever, I don't know, and I would take a tramadol and that would work. So I only took a few of those. Didn't really need that. And then after surgery, I took those for a couple times, and then I was good. And again, so that's a change from going from I was taking Advil every 4 hours to at this point in time I don't take anything. There's there's no pain. After surgery, like I said, I took a couple tramadol, 1 or 2, pain, but otherwise, like even Tylenol was just fine for me. So that was good. So yeah, in that respect, I'm better. I guess going to the bathroom, or I was going to the bathroom every 2 hours, and then with the ileostomy, I was going once or twice a night. Again, that every 4 hours-ish, just to empty the bag and make sure that was okay, to the point of now, like I said, getting up once in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. So again, improvement, that's good. I feel better. For the surgery, they had to cut me from pretty much the sternum all the way down to the pubic area. And so I have a big midline scar. They did a hysterectomy on me, and they did, I don't know what it's called technically, but it's a muscle flap surgery. So they closed my butt shut, the Barbie butt surgery, but they took one of my muscles, the rectus abdominis muscles. They cut it. I guess it attaches to the top and somewhere towards your pubic area. So it has blood flow, they said, from top and bottom. So they're able to cut the top so it still has blood flow. And then they flipped that down. And that covered up the back of my vaginal wall, because I took out the colon area. They had to take out the back of the vaginal wall where the cancer had was up against and they had perforated. They used the muscle to sew up the back of the vaginal wall, and they used that muscle to sew up my butt area, the anus area. So again, now I only go through the bag. I don't have phantom pooping pains. Some people have that, or that urge that you feel like you have to poop. Once in a while, for me, I feel like I have gas. I feel like I have to pass gas. And then it's funny, maybe about 5-10 minutes later, then I will maybe pass gas in the bag, but I find it interesting that I feel like it's down in the butt area, whereas, from way down in the butt, it's got to make its way back up towards the belly button and, and come out the bag. And there's nothing down there, it's not like, before when I had the ileostomy, I still had the colon connected and down there, and there was mucus that would come out once in a while. But for now, I'm like, so that's just interesting. But in any case, yeah, so my whole midline scar, I was very sensitive on the whole left-hand side of my body because of all the nerve endings being cut and all that. It was sensitive just to having a shirt on it, or even laying on the, on the couch, whatever, having the sheet on me. And whatever, so laying on my side was good. I wouldn't feel a lot. Laying on my back, though, when I'd have something touching it, it would be real sensitive. And again, now 6 months out, I'm good. Within the last couple weeks, it was finally much better. Like laying in bed, sometimes too laying in bed, I could lay on my side and I'd be fine. By the time I turned to my back, then it was like, ooh, I could feel pain, which would last about 5 minutes and then it would go away. And then I'd turn over again on the other side and then I'd have some pain for a little bit and then that would go away. So that's all good. Where I had the drainage sites, where I had, from the surgery, they had 2 tubes coming out of me to help drain the fluid from the inside. And after taking those out, the top one, the pain went away fairly quickly. The bottom one took a couple months. I didn't have pain from that, but it was still just then the whole sensitivity of the abdomen. So I have been doing scar tissue massaging, where I just put some lotion, the Aquaphor lotion, on my fingers and I massage the whole abdomen area, so like right even under my ribs. I'm thinking maybe that's part of where they cut, because it's kind of closer to the scar area, to the middle of my body. There's like one area there that feels bruised. The rest of the rib area is fine, but like that feels bruised. And then again, more on this side. So I think they use some mesh to help be able to sew me up. So again, I don't know if that's more on the left side, or again, that's where the muscle came from. So the right side is good. I don't have pain or anything on that side. They were able to keep my bag on that side, which was nice. They converted the ileostomy to the colostomy and were able to use the same hole. So that was awesome, that all stayed the same. And then the sensitivity is going away. It's still there once in a while. Every once in a while, if I either hit something funny or touch it's funny, whatever, sometimes it's just, I feel like the roller coaster ride where your stomach kind of flips. It's just kind of like, ooh, okay. But I'm good. I still haven't massaged it yet this week. But pretty much every night. I skip a night here and there, but otherwise did massage this whole area and stuff. So again, between the massaging, I think that's made that whole area better. So that's good. So again, going from barely being able to move on the couch and lots of pain, to now being able to move, being able to drive. I was on a couple months worth of like no driving, no heavy lifting, none of that stuff. And now I can get in the car and drive someday, like twisting. It was like, twisting to, look over my shoulder, to back up, or sometimes even turning the wheel when I'm, doing a turn. It was like, that's a lot of abs. You don't realize that until you actually have something that happened to have surgery. You have pain in the abdomen area, that you realize how much you use your abs. So it was like driving and turning. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that hurt. Sitting up, walking, that type of thing too. I'm better with all that. Before surgery, I was still trying to walk every day, trying to just keep everything moving and going. Even during the treatments, during the chemo radiation, I would walk every day as much as I could. And sometimes we'd make it in the little neighborhood that I'm in. We have like a cute little path that goes around the neighborhood, and so we usually walk a whole loop. And there were some days that I couldn't. We try, and I would get out and I'd be hurting too much, and I would just do a quarter loop and I would come back. Sometimes I'd do half. At this point in time, I can do the full loop and then some. I still have energy when I come back. I can walk further when I could go grocery shopping, and I can run errands. I can go out and about in the grocery store. I can walk the whole store and I'm fine. I can walk quickly. I'm back to my normal regular pace. Before that, I was really slow and walking, or if I was with my husband, he'd be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need to go sit in the car? Do you I'll finish up. But I was okay, and he nicely would, go slowly with me. But again, right now I'm pretty much back to normal with that. So that is, again, very nice. Whereas, trying to do some laps here in the house, and I would, do about 3-4 of them, and I would start to feel like passing out almost. The ears would kind of clog up. They would do it, and I'm like, I need to lay down now. And so yes, to be able to walk again now and still have energy as I run the errands, that's good. 3 months ago, I started physical therapy, and so that was awesome too, to be able to kind of get the green light to go ahead of, yes, you can exercise. You'll start off with some of these movements, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tight. To know, again, the exercises I used to be able to do before all the treatment, before last February, you know, I would still try to do some stuff. I was still at work. I was still lifting case boxes of paper and carrying them downstairs and stuff like that, moving things around. I was fine, to the point of, while I had the ileostomy and recovering from that surgery, and then going through the chemo and all the resting I had to do and stuff, and the radiation, I did a whole lot of not moving. I did a lot of resting and laying down. And so now as I started exercising again, it was just like, holy cow, I can't even do half of what I used to be able to do. Even just stretching wise. I can't, even right now, to sit straight up and down, have my legs straight in front of me, I used to at least be able to do that. I couldn't really lean forward much. I can't, I can't touch my toes. I can't really go, but at least I could sit with my legs straight. Now I can't do that. My body is like on a 45-degree angle, so I can sit about like that. So I'm still working on that. To do just some of the twisting of the body, I'm like, excellent, because one of the things when we first get the ileostomy and the paperwork was like, just be careful that you don't get a hernia. So you weren't supposed to do planks or sit-ups or something. I'm like, well, that's kind of what I used to do. So I just kind of stopped everything because I didn't, want to hurt anything. And so then after this other surgery, like I said, it was a good 3 months out, I started the physical therapy. And she was all like, yep, you can do, let's do this, let's do this. So we were doing some other, different stretches, which, again, I'm still doing to this day, every day doing exercising, and I feel so good. It was just like, oh, the body just feels refreshed and rejuvenated, and it's just like, woo! So that really helped. And to think of in the beginning too, I do some exercise, I do like little crunches, just again, to kind of work my abs, besides just the stretching. I'm like, let's get a little ab work in. I could do like 10. And it was like, oh, I'm tired. That was enough. Didn't want to hurt myself. And now I can do 50. I kind of wish I could do 100. I do 50 crunches with my hands behind my head, and then I do 50 with like just on my knees where I go, and then I do where I'm up in the upright position and just kind of bounce my hands. And so between that, and even, I know one of the times I went to therapy, I was just like, jeepers, this isn't, getting easier for me. It's not, I feel kind of stagnant. And she goes, but think of where you've come. Like, you can still do more now than you could even when you started with me. And all that. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then that week things have gotten easier. And so again, to have, not moved a whole lot for a year to now being, back to, again, I can exercise again and do some stuff. So not afraid to try things, obviously, again, knowing my body, if I'm trying a new move, even some of those lunges, trying some lunges and stuff, I kind of, the one thigh muscle kind of hurt a little bit. I'm like, okay, we're going to back off on that. So to listen to my body and do what I can and push myself when I can, and know when it's enough. Doing gardening. I have my own little garden here. I have some tiger lilies out in the kitchen area here. So I usually need to weed that area. And over by my mom's place, she's got a little garden along her garage side, and so, to do some weeding there. And same back even, a couple months ago, where I was just doing a little bit of weeding, and I did like half of the garden area. I'm like, oh, that's enough. I'm done. I'm good. I could feel it. And to now be at the point of, I can garden, I can weed. Even back here, it was like, oh, we got my hands and knees and and trying to plant stuff or, pull some old roots out and that. It was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling that. I could feel it again in the abs and stuff. So, but it's good. It's like, it's a good feeling. So again, come that far with that. What else? My hair had been, I didn't lose my hair completely. The medicine that I was on, that wasn't really one of the side effects. The hair did thin. I was having some of it, fall out here and there. That has stopped. So that's nice. That, I don't know, as though I can tell it's getting a little bit thicker or not, but at least it's, it stayed the same and it's not falling out. So that's good. Goodness, my voice, I don't know. Neuropathy. I'd had neuropathy in my hands and my feet granted, I had it during the side effects while I was having chemo, and then it kind of went away, and then during radiation I had to take some chemo pills, some capecitabine pills, and then the neuropathy came back, and it was more to the touch. On the chemo, I had the neuropathy. It was tingles in the fingers. It was a little bit of numbness, but it was also tingles, and I also couldn't touch cold stuff. That would send like, it's like almost like pain through the fingers. When, like I said, that went away, and then with doing radiation, with the pills I had, it was just more, again, the neuropathy, the numbness in the fingers and the feet, and a little bit up the legs, up the calves. And so now I'd say my fingers are probably a good 98% better. If I'm looking for it, if I'm feeling it, I can tell by touch that, yeah, there's a little bit there, more so on the left hand than the right. And I can type again on the computer. During treatments and all that stuff, with having all that going on, I was trying to type. It was just kind of like, oh jeepers, it was almost better to almost hunt and peck. I was trying to type normal. I would make so many mistakes. You know, the delete key was my friend. I'm like, delete, retype. Oh God, delete, retype. I'm like, oh, that would take so much time. And now I'm back to, I can type again, and I'm fine. In the feet, my right foot is much better. Almost same. I would say that one's a good, 90%, 95% better. I don't feel it much, especially when I'm wearing shoes. It's a lot better. When I have my shoes off, I can feel it more. Or if I'm barefoot on like the tile floor and stuff, then I can feel it, and it kind of moves up. Moves up the foot a little bit, or I feel maybe in the leg. Otherwise, when I'm touching it, like shaving my legs, I can feel it a little bit. Again, the right leg, I think I'm pretty good at. I should see. Do I? I got socks on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. Left leg, again, I feel it more in my foot, and when I'm walking around, well, that's better too. Because in the beginning, even right after surgery and stuff, when we were walking, I would get to a certain point, like halfway around our little loop, and I could start feeling my feet feel more numb. And so then I would kind of make sure I was watching the ground, that I wasn't going to trip over, a stick or a crack in the ground or anything like that. I was just being very careful to not fall. And sometimes when I would get home, there too, even in the beginning, I think even after surgery, after the walks, it would feel like, if you've ever been out in the northern areas, if you've been out in the cold and really cold, weather, windy weather, snowy weather, and when you come back inside and you kind of like thaw out, and how you kind of have either the tingles or the numbness or the, that feeling, that's kind of what my feet would feel like. So again, now the left foot still has that, and a little bit up the calf, but much better, so much better. So again, I'm hoping that, again, with more time, that will all end up completely healing. I have read online from different people, sometimes after 2 years, after 4 years, some people have still had neuropathy. So I'm really hoping that, it's almost been 1 year from finish. It'll be September. September will be 1 year that I finished the chemo pills and all that stuff. So I still even have a little bit of time to that'll keep healing. I'll keep getting better with that. So that's good. My shoulder is still kind of hurting better. That's more my own side effect. That really didn't have to do with with chemo or radiation per se, or not even technically from the surgery. But the way my setup was with how I was laying down, we have a two-seater, a love seat couch, and so that was my spot. I would lay on that, and then I would have the footrest up, and I'd have my computer on there. And because of the footrest being up, I'd have the table to the side of the footrest. So when I was laying on my back, or if I wanted water, I wanted anything, it was on that table. So I would be, turning back to grab my water, or putting my notebook down, or my book down, or unless I was on my side and I could reach for it. But so a lot of work with this arm, reaching, for the remote control to watch TV or whatnot. And so I kind of injured the rotator cuff a little bit. I think I strained it. So during PT, she was doing a little bit of exercising with it, a little bit of therapy of making it feel, trying to make it feel better, let it know that, yeah, this is how you're supposed to work. And it did feel a lot better what she was doing, but it got to a point over there too, I kind of leveled off. And now that I've been doing so much exercising, it kind of only took a little tiny step back to being, hurting. So my options are, time to see how it's going to go, or if it gets any worse, as she said, to get a cortisone shot. So she gave me a couple names of doctors that I can get that done with. Talking so long, my camera stopped. Yeah, so if my shoulder keeps hurting and stuff, that I could get a cortisone shot and see how that will do. I've gotten cortisone shots before in my life, after I had my second child, I believe it was. Yeah, because I was working at the school where they were at, and I had pain in my left hip. It was, pain with walking and stuff like that, and so I had a cortisone shot in the hip. That one took a couple days to work, and then it did, and it was fine. And then I had a cortisone shot in, I'm thinking my one thumb. And that may have been after my first child, and when she was still young. My thumbs were feeling goofy, and they were in pain, and so the one of them, I know he gave me a shot in the one thumb, thinking it was a lot of doing the snaps of the baby onesies and things like that. I'm like, I don't know, it just hurt. But that one, man, immediately that took effect, and that was wonderful. So hopefully it'll be the same thing. If I had the cortisone shot in the shoulder, that again, it should take the pain away and all that. But we're just gonna wait on that. Like I said, again, I know it's there, that I could do it. So that's that part. Head to toe, whatever. So my shoulders, my port. I still have my port in. We're going to keep that in till December. That's fine. Every once in a while, it either itches a little bit, or again, it's sensitive if I bump it, or that I'm just very conscious of that being there. But for me, it'll stay in. Once you're done, kind of like, at this point in time, I could have it out. I could have it out at the 3-month mark after surgery and stuff. Well, after doing those scans, and those came back clear, I could have had it out, but my oncologist said that he would prefer to keep it in for about a year. That's his time frame. His little superstition prefers that as kind of insurance, just to keep it there just in case. And I don't mind it. Keep it in. Again, right now I have to go through tests every 3 months anyways, and if they can use the port, that's wonderful, because it hurts less than getting poked in the arm. And I haven't had any trouble with my veins until, again, going through some of these surgeries and stuff. But the port is easy access and all that, so I have that in. And then, yeah, we talked about the scar. That looks really good. That's healed up really nicely. The colostomy is doing really well. I haven't had any bathroom issues. As far as eating, that's going to be a lifelong process of how things go. I know within a month of surgery, I ended up having a blockage, and I had to go into the hospital. And again, I guess that was kind of, for me, I think it was also a matter of, one, I was eating a little bit of heavy food. I was eating some, heavy cheesy stuff. So for me, for my body, I guess that was a little too much, or too soon. And yeah, I had the blockage, and then I kind of found out a little later, I think after later that month, I had my radiologist appointment, and they gave me a dilator to use, because they're saying, scar tissue can still form in there, even 6 months in that after radiation. So again, I know that, like I said, they don't want to do surgery until 6 weeks after radiation, but even 6 months later, even up to a year, I found out you can still have scar tissue forming inside your body. So I know that was one of the things that my surgeon had mentioned, that when I had the blockage and stuff, she said, yeah, well, there could be some scar tissue that formed in the small intestines, but it almost kind of seemed a little bit what they saw, but unless they would open me up, they wouldn't be able to know where the scar tissue all was or whatnot. But yeah, so scar tissue can do in the intestines, so that's again another reason why they want you up and walking. I know before this, that wasn't a thing that was ever mentioned. As far as I knew, it was always a matter of they want you up and walking to get your, to get your intestines moving. I didn't think about scar tissue. They want your intestines moving. Obviously, they don't usually let you go home from the hospital until you've passed gas or had a bowel movement. But I didn't realize it was because of the scar tissue thing, that again, they want you moving, and that moves all that stuff, because I guess it's pretty much not static. Your intestines are always moving. And and pneumonia. They don't want fluid filling in your lungs, or blood clots. So that's all part of they want you moving. But now knowing, again, with having the surgery again with scar tissue and that, and then scar tissue could also form basically in the bowel area and in the vaginal area. So they gave me, my radiologist then, they gave me a dilator to work with that. And I know, and the instructions are I'm supposed to be using a dilator for up to a year, unless you're having like sexual intercourse and doing that a couple times a week. I think it was at least once a week, put it that way. I know they want to do, if you're doing the dilator, you're supposed to do it, I think 2 to 3 times a week. But otherwise, yeah, between dilator and or having sex, that will keep that area mobile. And also the anal area. So again, there are dilators you can also use in the anus, and I'm going to keep that area also mobile and have no scar tissue form on that. And then the other area, now for me, the butt area, I don't, oh, for the vaginal area, I know I had heard some people that when they're having radiation that they had put some type of a dilator inside themselves when they're having radiation. So again, if by chance any of you are going through that, that's an option. You can ask about it and see if that would help. I think that was supposed to help, again, keep that area, you know, supple and not have scar tissue. I did not realize that was why that was. I hadn't heard about it. They hadn't, you know, my radiologist hadn't said anything. But again, it's just something to keep in mind. Again, if by chance you have to go through radiation down in the abdomen area. And then my butt area, like I said, that's all sewn shut. That also then is kind of like a scar tissue area, kind of like the abdomen scar tissue, the scar, scar tissue. So the butt area has, you know, that's all skin. That's all, you know, it's well, skin. It's muscle, and it's a scar area. So I was having pain with that. More pain than I am now. Granted, obviously because of the tumor being down there. Again, from before into now, that's always where my pain was. And even through all the treatments, I was having some, you know, trouble sitting. I could sit for, you know, a little while, a couple hours, whatever, and then I'd have to go lay down. More so, you know, through treatment. Treatment too, I was just, well, we had a little bit of pain, and then it was also just a matter of just being tired from the treatments. And then after surgery, I wasn't allowed to sit for 4.5 weeks. So I know something that goes about 4 to 6 weeks that you're not supposed to sit to help that area all heal up. You're not putting pressure on there. They had talked about donut rings. You can sit on the donut stuff. So again, that's, I don't know, preference. You ask your doctor about that if by chance you're having surgery down there. Because some people are saying that when you sit on that, it also kind of like spreads your cheeks apart, and it could tear open all the stitches and stuff down there. So that may not be a good thing. I finally got one just within the last month or so. My physical therapist had mentioned it. And so again, at this point in time, I'm healed enough from the surgery that I'd be able to sit on that. And it also, instead of just being completely round, it has a channel in there so that there isn't pressure on there. Well, granted, you're still, you know, sitting, but it's not bad. It doesn't, I don't feel it spreading the cheeks or hurting or anything like that. But that still also has to heal. It's still a scar area, so the whole scar area has to heal. With the physical therapist, she was also a pelvic floor therapist, so that's her specialty. So that's kind of why I chose her in the first place of going to one, because of everything going on down there. At one point when I started, it was a matter of, you know, am I hurting down there? Do I really need any of that type of work? Or it was more just really the scar tissue and getting the abdomen feeling better and not painful, and then starting exercises. And then at a certain point through there, she was like, well, let me take a look. But by the next episode, the next appointment or two, I think my butt was hurting, and I had a little bit of bleeding from doing the exercising. So she did look at the area. She said, nope, it all looks all healed up. It all looks good. And then towards the end, last few appointments, she finally, she kind of did the actual pelvic floor therapy work, where she put a finger around kind of the vaginal area, so, you know, the opening, and she would put a finger around to see where I had pain, and again, more so where the muscle had attached to the vaginal area. That was where I had more pain and stuff. So she was just doing kind of acupressure therapy. She would put pressure on there and wait until it kind of the pain subsided, and then to keep going around. And so she had me then start that type of work, and then obviously then also where the scar was. So if we have the vaginal opening and then, you know, the butt scar, then I was doing work on that too. I was putting pressure on the scar area and doing a little bit of circle work on that to, again, keep that supple and being able to move. So as I'm doing squats, as I'm walking, as I'm bending over, picking something up off the floor, again, that area will feel okay. That'll take the pain away. It won't, stretch it so much and whatever. So I'll be able to move without pain. And so that has worked. That's good. So mainly I have my little donut cushion thing. I sit at that at the computer because I'm there for hours on end of the day. Otherwise, I can sit on normal chairs now. Again, they're too right after surgery and stuff. Like when I went and had the oil changed, I bought a waffle cushion in the beginning. So instead of having the donut, I did have a blow 'em up cushion that, so it was kind of like, the crisscross, stuff where, went in between and all that. And I sat on that, and I would take that with me to different places where I was going, or I'd sit on it in the car, I'd sit on it when I was somewhere, so it wasn't such a hard seat. But again, I'm now better at that. So again, I was having trouble sitting and doing, and having to sit maybe on a different type of cushion, and now I'm able to sit on regular chairs, and that's all good. So that's a good change. Dun dun dun. So what else? So yeah, I did the physical therapy, so that's all good. The stomach's not hurting as much, the butt isn't hurting as much. I can walk now, I have energy, I can drive the car, I can lift things, I can lift a laundry basket, I can lift a gallon of, milk, a gallon of water. I still feel a little bit in the abs, I still feel different things in my gardening, but it's good. It's not painful. It doesn't hurt. So I guess one of the other things with doing, with my bag changes and all that too, that in the beginning when I first, went even to the colostomy, I had my husband Wayne helping me change out my bags. So the good and bad, at least he knows how to do it. If by chance anything did happen, that he would be able to help, because they're too, sometimes with the neuropathy of my fingers, it was hard sometimes to do that. And also because my stomach was so sensitive, sometimes you take the bag off and I have to clean up the area and things, and that would, just the sensitivity of the abdomen area would make me feel kind of like passing out. It would just feel like bleh. So I was doing it laying down. So instead of standing up, I would go lay in bed. And Wayne nicely helped me with that. Where I was able to pretty much, I'd get the bag off and I would do as much cleaning as I could, or he would look and he would help me clean up a little bit and stuff, and then he would get the supplies ready. So the outer sticky ring, he would get that put on me, he would get the bag all prepared and cut the hole in there, and he'd get the bag on me. And so that was all wonderful. And then I got to a point of where I tried doing it myself. I could do it standing in the bathroom, and that worked out well. So I had the confidence that I could do it, because I knew how to do it. I knew I could change my ileostomy bag myself, and now I'm at the point of I can do it myself, which is wonderful. That I don't have to wait for him to come home from work. I don't have to take his time. So it was taking about a half an hour or so for us to be able to get everything cleaned up, get the bag changed, and now I pretty much do it within like 10-15 minutes at most, depending on how much cleanup there is to do. But so yeah, that's another change for how it used to go, and now it's gotten much better. Like I said, I can do it faster, I can do that by myself, so that's all good too. Other than that, the other thing just to remember and keep in the back of my mind is I keep being told that it's going to take a year for all of this to be able to heal up. So that's nice to know too. I've been told that by, I think, the surgeon and the radiologist and the oncologist and physical therapist. So I've been told a multitude of times that I am doing wonderfully well, that I've come so far and I look good. Like I said, that's the other thing. I've gained back my weight. I lost a good 30 pounds. I think I lost 30 pounds to the point of when I started going through the chemotherapy and all that, and I held steady through that for a while. And then when I had the blockage, I lost another 10 pounds. So my low was 110 pounds, which, like I said, I probably didn't weigh that since I was like in grade school. And now I'm back up to like 135. So I gained back that 25 pounds. Or 30? I don't know. Haven't weighed myself in a while. Once I got to that 130 mark, I was like, I'm good. that's a good base weight. Now I don't want to keep going. I'm like, okay, this is a good weight for me. I got to hold steady. But yeah, so I feel good. I look good. I don't look so skinny anymore and all that I look unhealthy. I'm at a good weight. I'm at a good point in my life. Like I said, I love life. I love being here. I love my body. I love my family. I love love all of this. So it's wonderful. And like I said, when I do feel a little bit discouraged here and there, it's like, okay, it hasn't been a year yet, to give myself time, and we'll still keep improving between now and then. It's still another 6 months. December was surgery, so like I said, this is the 6-month mark, and to have come this far and feel this good and being back to kind of a normal life, that's pretty darn good. I'll take it. I like it. So now, just a matter of, again, I mean, they don't know obviously what causes the cancer, or they, I'll be miracle workers. No, we'll just stop this or cut that out, and you'll be good to go. So it's still just a matter of trying to keep myself healthy, trying to choose more of the healthier foods, keep my body healthy that way, and still doing my prayers, praying for myself, still asking you guys for prayers. Take all the prayers that I can get. So I have obviously my YouTube community, my Facebook community, my family, my cousins, my friends, that I still have a lot of prayers coming for me that I really appreciate. And yeah, so now it's just a matter of having the scans every 3 months. So the good and the bad with that, it's interesting. It'll hit me more in a couple weeks, because right now it's still been busy going, doing things, having appointments. Like with having the physical therapy appointments, and then I tried acupuncture, and I did that for a couple weeks. And I had one scan already. My next scan is in July. This week I just had a concert, so that kept me busy, kind of being out of the house and around other people. And so kind of again, yeah, like living regular life. But I won't have anything really going on now between now and July. So I'm just going to have that July scan on the back of my head, and it's going to be an MRI scan, so it's going to be the 45-minute one as opposed to like the 15-minute CT scan. But it's all going to be okay. Putting it out in the universe, everything is okay. I'm going to remain healthy. And again, prayers from you guys for me to remain healthy, I would really appreciate. So that's it. If you have any questions, anything, leave it down below. I could do a Q&A video. I'm a pretty open book. I've shared a whole lot. Some people are surprised at how much I share. But it's kind of like, well, it's difficult. This is a difficult journey to go through. And in looking for videos out there on what people have gone through, what could be expected, if whatever you're going through is normal, there are some videos out there and some there aren't. So again, my thinking in this, what I want to do is to be able to put out as much information as possible to be able to help anybody else. Anybody that's watching, if you know of anybody, if you're a caretaker of somebody, whatever, you have a friend, a family member that's going to be going through this, you can get some information on what they might be going through, or you can recommend my videos to them and they can watch, and maybe it will help them out. Yeah. It's a roller coaster ride. It's tough and it's not, but you know what? In the end, life is good. A lot of it, when you're going through the rough spots, the troublesome, times, my mantra was one day at a time. And there are still days now, if I get a little anxious about something that's coming up, going on, it's just, what? One day at a time. Let's just live for today. Let's make today a good day. Do whatever I can to get through it. Like I said, make it good, stay happy. Watch some videos that make you laugh. Laughter is good medicine. Yeah, so like I said, we'll see how these next few weeks go, and again, it's just like, yeah, I'm living life, I'm good, but then yet I still have these reminders of my little midnight scar and my colostomy bag, that the journey that I did go through, and that I did have cancer, and we're just going to pray that it stays away, that I done that, went there. Hopefully I'm done. just to, obviously, right? Everybody wants to remain healthy. So I pray that you guys are healthy and remain that way. And try to make good memories of your life. Live each day. If you get stressed out, take it one day at a time. If you're having any symptoms, anything, you have questions, you're wondering, your body feels kind of goofy, go to the doctor. Go get your scans, get your mammographies, get your prostate exams, get your colonoscopies, PSA. Public service announcement, putting it out there. Get your annual physicals by the doctor. By the time I hit 50, I was thinking I had a pretty good life. I've been healthy most of my life. Why should I go to the doctor anymore? Back in my parents' days, they didn't go to the doctor unless they were really sick. Well, I guess back to those annual doctor's visits. So we're going to remain healthy. So again, I pray every night for you guys also, so that you remain healthy, that you are all doing well. And you guys, keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.